It's getting harder and harder to find the necessities, but why is this the calm before the storm? Hello, fellow Americans. I'm here to tell you that in a few short days, 15 crucial grocery products will be impossible to find. Yes, you heard that right. Impossible. From staple foods to everyday essentials, our supermarkets are about to face an inventory crisis. Have you noticed anything strange at your local supermarket lately? I have, and it's not just me. My neighbors have noticed it too. Unprecedented crisis. What are these items? And more importantly, why are they disappearing in the last 48 hours? I've witnessed firsthand the employees of big chain supermarkets whispering to frantic customers, the tense atmosphere, the rampant speculation, and the possibility that there will be a nationwide shortage due to supply chain problems or something more sinister. If you can't buy milk, bread, or even toilet paper, how will your family manage? Let's start with the first grocery product that we will hardly see on supermarket shelves next month: organic avocados. Let me tell you why this is crucial for every American who values quality food and clean eating. Organic avocados aren't just any food item. They are a powerhouse of nutrients. This isn't just a possibility. It's a looming reality that could hit us as soon as next week. Prepare now. Stock up while you can, because next month it might be too late. Supplying a variety of vitamins, minerals, fiber, and healthy fats that are necessary for a balanced diet. But here's the real kicker. There has been a major crop failure in Mexico, our main source of these green gems, and production has dropped by an astounding 40%. This isn't just a minor pickup, it's a major blow to our supply chain. Moreover, with the intense summer heat waves hitting California, our domestic supply of avocados is also in jeopardy. Avocados are becoming increasingly difficult to produce in the U.S., which means that before they completely disappear from the market, prices will skyrocket. Before I explain why I am hoarding organic avocados, let me discuss how versatile they are. I use avocados in everything from salads to smoothies to classic guacamole. They are a staple in my daily diet, giving me the nutrients I need to stay healthy and motivated. Provides approximately 240 calories, 3 grams of protein, 13 grams of carbohydrates, and 22 grams of heart-healthy fats, including monounsaturated fats. Considering their significance, I've decided to stockpile at least 200 organic avocados. The reason for this is that I want to make sure I have enough to withstand any shortages and rapidly rising prices. I freeze the avocados to extend their shelf life, so I can enjoy them for months without worrying about them going bad. Here's a tip for freezing avocados. The majority of their nutrients and flavor can be retained by mashing and storing them in airtight containers or freezing the halves after the pit and skin are removed. According to the USDA, the average American consumes roughly 7 loads of avocados annually, with more than 330 million people living in the country. A 40% decrease in supply of the 3 billion pounds of avocados that are consumed annually would result in nearly 1 billion pounds of avocados being removed from the market. This is a substantial loss that will impact millions of households. The Food and Agriculture Organization has reported that the global food price index has been rising steadily, hitting a record high in the last year. This trend is caused by a number of factors, including supply chain disruptions brought on by climate change and geopolitical tensions. Shortage is a perfect example of how these factors come together to affect our day-to-day lives. The World Bank has also noted how climate-related events, such as heat waves, droughts, and storms, are occurring more frequently and affecting agriculture, posing a threat to the stability of California's food supply. For instance, the state's avocado industry, which employs a large portion of the state's population, is affected by these events, which are becoming more frequent and severe. The second most popular option is free-range chicken. Nothing compares to that succulent, happy chicken that lived a happy life before ending up on your grill. But pay attention, because this is serious business. There are major problems with our food supply, and they are all caused by the bird flu that has been spreading like wildfire through poultry farms. Let me explain. This season, the bird flu has hit our poultry farms hard. Specifically, free-range chicken producers are dealing with this is not just a small hit, it is a devastating blow to our food supply chain. What this means for you and me is that there will be fewer eggs and chicken on the market because demand is skyrocketing, but supply can't keep up. You need to grab what you can right now and don't wait around thinking this will blow over. They have had to call these birds to stop the spread of the disease, which has resulted in a massive 50% reduction in their flocks. Free-range chicken isn't just any chicken. These birds are raised in open spaces where they can roam freely, get plenty of exercise, and eat a natural diet. This results in healthier, tastier meat. It's the kind of chicken you want to serve to your family because you know it's better for them. Personally, I love to grill, and there's nothing better than throwing some free-range chicken on the grill. Stock up while you still have the chance. Some free-range chicken on the grill. I stocked up on 50 pounds of it last month. Yes, you heard me right. 50 pounds sounds like a lot, but let me explain why it makes sense. To start, chicken freezes really well. You can store it for months and it will still taste fresh when cooked. I keep a large freezer stocked in my garage. You might be wondering why so much. Well, you have to be ready when you have family to feed and friends who love to stop by for a good cookout. I usually use about 10 pounds of chicken in my during the week. That equates to 2 family meals and possibly 1 or 2 lunches if there are leftovers. However, I've noticed recently that it's becoming more difficult to find high-quality free-range chicken at the store. Sometimes they're just completely sold out, and other times the prices are skyrocketing due to the shortages. According to recent statistics, the bird flu has caused the U.S. poultry industry to see a significant drop in production. The USDA estimates that nearly 50 million birds have been affected this year alone. A 12% price increase for chicken, and experts warn that if the flu spreads, this could rise to 20%. As you can see, this isn't just about having chicken for dinner. It's also about ensuring that we have enough to survive during hard times. Food shortages are real and getting worse. Recall the toilet paper crisis? But with chicken, you don't want to be the person caught without any when the stores run out. To be more precise, freer-range chicken is particularly susceptible because these birds spend more time outside, increasing their susceptibility to the flu. It's extremely difficult for farmers to maintain the health of their flocks. I've spoken with a few local farmers, and they're having to cull a sizable portion of their flocks. This is heartbreaking, as these are small businesses that depend on every bird for their livelihood. However, there is a bright side. When you buy in bulk, you're also helping these farmers by stockpiling free-range chicken. It's a win-win situation where you get the best chicken and they get the much-needed financial support. So how do you go about stockpiling? Here's my approach. First, find a reliable source. I buy directly from a local farmer I trust because I know I'm getting top quality and I'm supporting local business. If you don't have a local farmer, look for online suppliers who specialize in free-range chicken. There are a number of trustworthy ones that deliver right to your door. Secondly, invest in a good freezer. Trust me, it's worth it. I have a chest freezer that can store up to 300 pounds of food. It was an investment, but it has paid off handsomely. Third, stock up on canned pumpkin. I can't stress this enough. If you love pumpkin pie as much as I do, you better start storing canned pumpkin right away. You think you're going to make that pumpkin pie? Think again before making pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving. The Midwest was hit hard by unprecedented flooding this year, which destroyed about 60% of the pumpkin crop. This is no laughing matter, folks. The shortage of pumpkins this year will be greater than any previous one, and canned pumpkin will be harder to find than a politician making good on a pledge. So if you're an American who enjoys traditional holidays and get-togethers, stock up now or get ready for a pumpkinless holiday season. A dessert, a reminder of our history, and a taste of home. The thought of not having it on the table this year is just not acceptable to me. So what have I done about it? I've taken action, people. Serious action. Since I first learned about the flooding in the Midwest, I've been stockpiling canned pumpkin. This isn't just about hoarding, this is about being prepared. I currently have 200 cans of pumpkin in my pantry, and I intend to get even more. Why so much, you ask? I want to make sure my family and I are covered for future Thanksgivings and any other time we might crave a delicious pumpkin pie or pumpkin bread. I have 2 YP of canned pumpkin in my stockpile. Pure pumpkin is incredibly versatile. In addition to being great for making pies, it can also be used in soups, stews, and even smoothies. As I think about this Thanksgiving, I'm thinking ahead because I'm not sure what the weather patterns and crop yields will be like in the coming year. But since pumpkin pie mix already has the spices mixed in, it's a lifesaver during the hectic holiday season. I keep about 120 cans of pure pumpkin and 80 cans of pumpkin pie mix, so I always have options, no matter what I'm feeling like making. You may think this is excessive, but allow me to present you with some sobering facts. According to recent reports, flooding has severely damaged the Midwest pumpkin crop. We're talking about a 60% reduction, people. This isn't just bad news. It's catastrophic when the simple economics of stockpiling now will shield me from future price increases, in addition to ensuring that I have enough pumpkin for my pies. The growing frequency of natural disasters, if it's not flooding, it's drought. And if it's not drought, it's pests, means that our agricultural sector is constantly in danger, and we must take proactive measures to ensure our food security. Just take a look at the data in the last 10 years have witnessed a notable surge in weather-related crop production disruptions. This year's flooding in the Midwest is merely the most recent instance, but it's a part of a larger trend. Now let's talk about how I use my canned pumpkin. Naturally, pumpkin pie is the star of the show. My recipe is a family favorite, rich and creamy, full of warm spices like cloves, cinnamon, and nutmeg. Since we have a large family, I usually make about 6 pies for Thanksgiving. Everyone loves to bring leftovers home, but canned pumpkin isn't just for pies. I use it in savory dishes as well. One of my favorite recipes is a hearty, comforting pumpkin soup that I make by sautéing onions and garlic, adding canned pumpkin, chicken broth, and a bit of cream, then letting it simmer. Another favorite in my house is pumpkin bread, which makes a great breakfast or snack or even dessert if you top it with some cream cheese frosting. I also love making pumpkin pancakes. Waffles on the weekends are popular with the kids, and I feel good about it because they're getting extra nutrients. Speaking of nutrients, pumpkin is full of vitamins A and C, fiber, and antioxidants, so it's not only delicious but healthy too. 4, imported olive oil is a big deal, and it's time to act. We're talking about Italy and Spain, the countries that produce the most olive oil, and they're in a serious crisis mode due to a deadly bacteria, been decimating olive trees. This isn't a small issue, it's a full-blown catastrophe that has eliminated nearly half of their olive oil production. This isn't just any olive oil either. We're talking about the high-quality kind that elevates salads and gives dishes a deep, authentic flavor. The kind you drizzle over fresh capra salad or use to perfectly sauté vegetables. As a result, the cost of olive oil is already rising. Shortage, and soon we might not even see it on the shelves at all. Let me tell you why I'm stockpiling it first. I love to cook with olive oil because it's full of healthy fats, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory properties. I have about 20 bottles stored up, and I plan to get more because I use it in almost every meal. Proper storage will keep a good quality olive oil for about 18 to 24 months, so having a stockpile ensures I won't have to worry about running out of it. To deal with the exorbitant costs or empty shelves for a while, I'm pushing you to visualize this scenario. You enter your kitchen and discover that your favorite salad, go-to pasta dish, or even a simple fried egg has lost its flavor. Don't let that happen to you. Instead, go out and purchase a few bottles each time you shop, store them in a cool, dark place, and trust me, you'll thank yourself later when everyone else is rushing and you have a reliable supply of baby formula at home. 5 parents of infant formula. This is for you, and it's very important. As we all know, supply chain problems have been plaguing us, and baby formula is no exception. This is serious business because it directly affects your baby's nutrition. Just think about not being able to find the formula your child needs. Factories are only operating at 30% capacity due to a lack of labor and raw materials. That's right, 30%. That's a sharp decline, and if you're a parent, you know that there will be serious problems ahead. Infant formula is a must-have. Changing formulas can occasionally result in allergies or digestive problems. I personally keep a 6-month supply of formula on hand to ensure that I have enough to cover any disruptions in the supply chain. However, I advise you to aim for at least a 3-month supply as a safety precaution. Additionally, recent data on food shortages show that there are disruptions in the global supply chain for everything from dairy products to grains. Parents, I know it's hard out there. The last thing you need is the added stress of not being able to find the right formula for your baby. Take this seriously and start stockpiling now. Talk to your pediatrician about suitable alternatives. Reported that food prices are at their highest in a decade, and it's impacting everything from bread to baby formula. This isn't just about being prepared for a rainy day. This is about ensuring your family's health and well-being in an increasingly uncertain world. Additionally, there are some fantastic organic and hypoallergenic options available, and being aware of your options can help you feel more at ease. 6 gluten-free products. It's no secret that people who follow a gluten-free diet feel better overall. They no longer experience bloating, inflammation, or other symptoms. But there's a major issue with the supply chain. One of the main ingredients in many of these products is it may not be known to you, but xanthan gum is currently in short supply due to the fact that it is made from corn, and corn production has suffered greatly in both China and the US. This translates to a 35% decrease in availability for you, which means that many of the gluten-free products you have grown accustomed to will no longer be available on the shelves. Consider your favorite gluten-free bread, pasta, or baking mixes. They all require xanth and gum to function. Storing gluten-free goods, and you ought to be doing the same. I'm not just talking about hoarding a few boxes of pasta here and there. I'm talking about significant stockpiling. I have an entire cupboard full with gluten-free flour products, pastas, baking mixes, and even snacks. I have a dozen boxes of pasta, almost 50 pounds of gluten-free flour, and enough baking ingredients to last me a whole year. Why is it so high? Because I am aware that the decreased production of corn will make the supply worse before it gets better. We have a long-term problem on our hands, but there's more. Now is the time to experiment with your recipes. You must be prepared to make what you need if you can't locate it at the store. I've been experimenting with different recipes and ingredients. Instead of using xanthan gum as a binder, I've been adding chia or flax seeds during baking. Tapioca starch or powdered arrowroot are more options. The key takeaway is that you may not always find the items you're used to, so you need to be adaptable and ready to change. After discussing the 7 imported seafoods, let's anything truly delightful, such as imported fish. We all adore lobster, shrimp, and other delectable seafood, but these will soon become luxurious foods. A number of variables have combined to cause a significant 50% reduction in imports that we are currently witnessing. Environmental restrictions, international shipping delays, and shipping delays caused by overfishing are major contributors to the issue with everything that has been happening in the world. Transporting goods from point A to point B isn't as easy as it once was. You get a perfect storm when you combine the longer-term overfishing of our oceans with tighter environmental regulations. Personally, I adore seafood and will never give it up for my favorite dishes. I've been stockpiling shrimp anytime I see a decent deal because of this. Right now, I buy lobster and other foreign seafood in large quantities. About 20 pounds of shrimp, 10 pounds of lobster, and several other seafood products are in my freezer. I know it sounds like a lot, but with costs rising, trust me. Considering decreasing availability, it's a wise decision. This is what I discovered. It works best if you get frozen seafood because it keeps its quality longer and you don't have to worry about it going bad. To keep things fresh, I use vacuum-sealed bags. Additionally, remember to rotate your stock, using the oldest goods first and replacing them as you go. In addition to having a decent supply on hand at all times, if you enjoy seafood as much as I do, this is also a perfect time to start looking into local possibilities. Right now in the United States, we have some amazing seafood. Consider buying fish from your local fishermen and experimenting with different species that you may not have previously thought of. Have you ever tried Pacific rockfish or Alaskan pollock, for example? They're far more environmentally friendly and delectable options. Let me tell you, 8 fresh berries, those blueberries and strawberries you adore for your morning smoothie, are going to become really, really scarce. In the U.S., berry farms are suffering greatly as a result of climate change. And abroad, 40% yield reduction. That means that nearly half of our cherished berries are gone. You remember those sweltering summers and unpredictability of the weather? The crops are suffering greatly from it, and there are less pickers in the fields due to a manpower shortage. Fewer personnel are available to gather the meager yield that the farms can muster. There weren't many berries at the neighborhood farmer's market when I visited last summer, as I recall. The costs were really high. My folks adore eating fresh berries. We add them to cereal, smoothies, and even just as a healthful snack. As I watched those costs rise, I realized we needed to start planning ahead. Every time I saw a berry on sale, I would do what I did here. I seized the majority that I could. We purchased a deep freezer specifically to save them. Each of us has roughly 50 pounds of blueberries and strawberries. That may seem like a lot to you, but it's not, I promise. Just for breakfast and snacks, we use up at least 1 pound of food per week. Do the math. If we're careful, 100 pounds might last us a few years. But with the way things are going, who knows? When can we expect to see reasonably priced fresh berries once more? Additionally, let's discuss the data as reported by Agricultural. The last 10 years have seen a 40% decline in berry output. Folks, that's a significant amount, and things will only get worse. Our crops are dying due to heat waves and droughts, and we won't have enough labor to harvest what's left, so our shelves will be empty. So, take my word for it. If you see berries in supermarkets, seize them while they're still there. Put them in the freezer. You'll be grateful to me if you can gather them up. Later, while you're still savoring your smoothie from breakfast. While others are forced to eat bland oatmeal and 9 cans of tuna, this pantry staple is on the verge of extinction due to overfishing. Tighter regulations have reduced supply by 30% to safeguard declining fish populations, and prices are rising as a result of metal shortages. Is tuna a staple in our family? It's easy to store, healthful, and adaptable. We use it in casseroles, sandwiches, salads, and everything in between. But the problem with the current state of affairs is that it's growing harder and harder to find a can of tuna. I've personally witnessed it, and when I visited the grocery store last month, the tuna section was essentially empty. The remaining cans were nearly twice as expensive as they were a year before. That's when I made the decision to act. Our pantry now has a special place for tuna in cans. I have approximately 200 cans in stock. Yes, you read correctly. 200 cans. Every week we consume roughly 2 cans, so that should last about 2 years. Why is it so high? For who can predict when, or if at all, the next shipment will arrive? The figures are dismal. According to the World Wildlife Fund, the population of some tuna species has decreased to barely 3% of what it was. We are currently suffering the effects of overfishing, which has severely reduced their numbers. In addition, the scarcity of metal has caused a sharp increase in the cost of canning. Because of this dual benefit, canned tuna is becoming increasingly uncommon. No more tuna sandwiches or quick and simple dinners. Nutrition matters just as much as convenience. Omega-3 fatty acids and protein are abundant in tuna. To lose this important source of food would mean a serious setback to our diets. Begin purchasing tuna in cans each time you visit the shop, even if you only purchase a few cans at a time. It accumulates. Make room for storage in your garage or pantry. When the costs have skyrocketed and the shelves are bare, you don't want to be unprepared. 10 almonds milk. You're in for some bad news if, like me, you merely favor almond milk for its taste and health benefits or because you're lactose intolerant. Our wonderful state of California, which is renowned for producing the best almonds, is experiencing a severe drought, which has drastically reduced almond production by 50%. That's half, people, and there are 3 key factors contributing to this decrease in almond milk production: the drought, water constraints, and growing expenses. You believe there is nothing on the shelves. Just wait, things will only get worse. Personally, I've been hoarding almond milk because we never know when it will resurface at a reasonable price. Allow me to share with you the precise amount of almond milk that I have been hoarding. I have 50 cartons of almond milk in storage. While that may seem like a lot, allow me to explain. We go through around a carton every 2 days in my household. We will use about 50 cartons in just over 3 months, or 15 cartons per month. Some people might find it excessive. Almond milk is great in smoothies for baking, and even in savory foods like soups and sauces, so you don't want to be caught without it. However, considering the unpredictability of supply chains and the severity of the drought, it makes perfect sense to be prepared. In relation to food shortages, let's examine some concrete statistics. The most recent studies state that California's production of almonds has reached its lowest point in years. This has an impact on everything, not just almond milk. Items made from almonds. The huge economic influence permeates what you see on the shelves of your neighborhood supermarket. My recommendation is to get almond milk as soon as you see it available and to do it in large quantities because prices are already rising, and this trend will only get worse. There are 11 fresh herbs, basil, cilantro, parsley, and other fresh herbs, that give your food the ideal flavor. A 45% decrease in supply has been attributed to labor disputes and the issue of water scarcity, particularly in California. Costs are soaring, and there is a shortage of delightful fresh herbs are a must in a lot of recipes. Consider your favorite tacos or pasta dish without fresh cilantro or basil. Surely it's not the same. I developed my own herb garden because of this. It's been a game changer, I tell you. In my backyard, I have a small plot where I produce parsley, cilantro, basil, rosemary, and thyme. It's very rewarding and not as difficult as you might assume. Not much room is needed. A little balcony or a window with plenty of sunlight would do. I make use of tiny pots, just a small amount of soil, and the outcomes have been incredible. Moreover, it's a terrific way to guarantee a consistent supply of fresh herbs without being dependent on the volatile market. I have planted roughly 10 basil plants, 8 cilantro plants, 5 parsley plants, and a few rosemary and thyme plants. Here is what I have precisely done. Every plant produces a plenty of leaves, and they will continue to do so with maintenance and occasional fertilization. A single basil plant may often yield enough leaves every few weeks to make a large batch of pesto. Cilantro. It grows quickly and is harvestable several times. Parsley is resilient and will continue to grow even after repeated trimmings. As perennials, rosemary and thyme will flourish year-round with proper care. The cost of a modest bundle of fresh herbs from the supermarket would be between $3 and $5. Growing your own organic herbs is a terrific way to ensure you always have fresh, organic herbs on hand. It's also a great hobby. If you use fresh herbs frequently, like I do, the cost can quickly mount up. It's so fulfilling and soothing to tend to my herb garden now. Why is there such a rush to this? There are actual food shortages occurring right now, not just theoretical ones. There are actual supply chain problems that impact what you can purchase and how much it will cost. When you're cooking and realize you're missing a crucial ingredient, fresh herbs might not seem like a huge concern. You're readying yourself for hard times by acting now, planting your own herb garden, and storing almond milk. By doing this, you're making sure that your family and you won't have to go without these essentials, 12 ice creams ever again. I'm not sure about you, but I'm obsessed with ice cream. Isn't that everyone's favorite dessert? The unfortunate news is that while ice cream is usually a welcome treat on a cool summer day or a chilly night in, it has drawbacks. A staggering 30% less ice cream being produced now than before, which is nearly a third of our favorite ice cream, as a result of manpower shortages in the dairy business and soaring feed costs. Disappeared, and it's not only the dairy problems. Summertime demand makes this delight disappear quicker than we can replenish it. So what is the prudent course of action in this situation? Before it's too late, fill your freezer with supplies. Allow me to share with you the amount of ice cream I have been hoarding. About 30 tubs in a variety of flavors are in my freezer. That may seem excessive to you, but let's examine it. 30 tubs will last us approximately 4 weeks in my family, as we use roughly 2 tubs per week, or 8 tubs each month. Months. It's about being ready for the hard times ahead, not just about always having a sweet treat on hand. You'll be happy you stocked up when your preferred flavors aren't available at the store. Ice cream isn't only for dessert, after all. I add it to milkshakes, smoothies, and even waffles and pancakes as a topping. It's tasty and adaptable. Let's examine some concrete statistics regarding food shortages. Numerous factors have contributed to the severe decline in dairy production, including rising feed expenses and a lack of labor, have a significant economic impact that influences what is available on the shelves of your neighborhood supermarket. If you see ice cream available, get it and buy a lot of it because prices are already rising and the trend will only get worse. 13 instant noodles are the ideal comfort food, perfect for anyone who enjoys a quick and simple supper or who is a busy parent or college. Although they're a staple, instant noodles have a problem. Important components, such as palm oil and wheat, are found limited availability as a result of interruptions to the world's agriculture. This has reduced production by 35%, or more than one-third of our favorite quick meals. If you share my love of instant noodles, you must move quickly to stock up before the stores run out. Once more, I've accumulated about 100 packets of instant noodles. I know this sounds like a lot, but bear with me. 100 packs will last my family 2.5 months because we use roughly 10 packs each week or 40 packs per month. Instant noodles are more than simply a light lunch. They are quite adaptable. To make the dish more substantial, you might add eggs, meat, or veggies. When you're in the mood for something quick and filling, they are ideal. People, there are true food shortages. The things you can purchase and the price you will pay are impacted by supply chain problems. The availability of essential ingredients for instant noodles has reportedly significantly decreased due to global agricultural disturbances. As a result, prices are already rising and are only expected to worsen. You can make sure that you and your family won't run out of these necessities by starting to stockpile today. Climate change has significantly influenced wheat production worldwide. Supply chain interruptions and geopolitical unrest are also posing problems for the manufacturing of palm oil, another essential component of instant noodles. The effects of the global economy are being seen here at home. What can you do when prices are soaring and availability is falling? Put some quick noodles in your stash. It's a small step, yet it has a significant impact. Distinction in guaranteeing you have a consistent source of nourishment: 14 fresh tomatoes, salads, sauces, sandwiches. Tomatoes are omnipresent in our diet, however they expire quickly. The tomato crop has been reduced by an incredible 40% due to a combination of bug problems and harsh weather. The availability is decreasing and prices are skyrocketing. Purchasing canned tomatoes in bulk as a backup is your best option. Let me now explain the significance of this and how my family's addressing it. We adore tomatoes and often include them in our dishes. We use them in order to fresh salads, hearty sauces, you name it. But given the state of affairs, fresh tomatoes are starting to feel like an indulgence. Let me tell you, once we started using canned tomatoes, it changed everything. Right now, our canned products have their own pantry space. We have more than 200 cans of tomato sauce, crushed tomatoes, and diced tomatoes. You wonder, why so many? Well, the math is easy. For sauces alone, a family of 4 like ours uses at least 2 cans per week. When you multiply that by 52 weeks, you get more than 100 cans annually. It's not even necessary to include additional for soups, stews, and other dishes, so keeping a 200-can supply on hand is not just wise but necessary. Given that the Department of Agriculture forecasts a 40% decrease in harvest, it is understandable why prices are predicted to soar by 25% over the following few months. The cost of a pound of fresh tomatoes has already increased from $150 to about $3. People, there really are shortages. A crisis has occurred. In these uncertain times, brewing right in our homes, having a strong pantry is a need, not merely a safety measure. When it comes to providing food for your family, things are only going to get worse. We've already noticed empty shelves in the fresh vegetable department. It is not in your budget to take chances. Make sure you have a consistent supply of tomatoes for all of your cooking requirements by stocking up today. 15 spices, important spices like black pepper, cinnamon, and turmeric, are going to be harder to find. 30% less is available due to disruptions in international shipping and climate change that affect locations that produce spices. Rising, and it will soon become difficult to locate these necessary flavorings. Seize the opportunity to purchase in bulk. Spices are the unsung heroes of the kitchen. They give our food taste, scent, and a unique flair. Consider a society devoid of wealth. Though it's unimaginable, we're actually moving in that direction. Imagine the sharp kick of black pepper on your steak or the taste of cinnamon in your morning oatmeal. Delays in shipping are a big issue. Shipments are delayed for weeks or even months due to port congestion. The effects of climate change, India's spice-producing regions, have been devastated by droughts, floods, and erratic weather patterns. Vietnam and Madagascar are experiencing a perfect storm of scarcity and rising costs. We take our spices seriously, cook a lot, and enjoy flavorful food. At the moment, we have over 50 pounds of different spices in stock. That may seem like a lot, but when you're cooking for a large group of people, those jars empty out more quickly than you might anticipate. Thus, we have large bags of the necessities. 10 pounds, 5 pounds of black pepper, of turmeric, 10 pounds of cinnamon, and so forth. We're preparing the facts to back up this urgency rather than merely stockpiling. Cinnamon has already seen a 15% price increase, and black pepper a 20% price increase. The production of spices has significantly decreased worldwide, according to the International Spice Conference, which also forecasts even worse shortages in the upcoming years. If you think spices are pricey now, wait till they become luxury goods. We take our time. Spices are beneficial to health in addition to taste. Cinnamon helps control blood sugar levels, black pepper aids with digestion, and turmeric is a potent anti-inflammatory. Keeping a healthy stockpile of these guarantees that we preserve not only the flavor, but also the nutritious value of our food. They are not merely gourmet extras. God bless America, and thank you for watching, everyone. Until next time.